So today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating, ancient idea about miracles. It's a concept that, it starts out sounding kind of theological, but it actually ends up revealing something incredibly profound about our own inner psychology and what it really truly means to be free. And it all kicks off with one simple question.
So, when I say the word miracle, what pops into your head? Yeah, probably something huge, right? Spectacular, an event that just shatters the laws of nature. But what if the greatest kind of miracle is one you'd never even notice?
You see, ancient Jewish mysticism actually breaks miracles down into two big categories. On one hand, you've got the nature-breaking miracle. Think the splitting of the Red Sea. Divinity just steps in, overrides the rules of physics, and bam, everyone sees it. But on the other hand, there's what's called a nature-clothed miracle. A great example is the story of Purim. It's just a whole series of coincidences and lucky breaks that, when you look back, you can see a divine hand guiding it all. The miracle is literally hidden inside a chain of events that looks perfectly natural. So which one do you think is considered greater?
And believe it or not, the answer is completely counterintuitive. These ancient texts argue that the hidden miracle, the one that's clothed in nature, is actually on a higher level than the big flashy one that breaks nature. And that just raises a huge question, right? Why? Why on earth would a hidden act be seen as more profound than a massive, world-altering event?
Well, it's because there's this kind of hierarchy of wonder. At level 1, you've got that overt miracle we all think of, the sea splitting. It shows divinity as this powerful force that exists outside of nature. At level 2, you have the hidden miracle. This is where divinity works through nature, but you can still kind of spot its influence if you're really paying attention. But then there's a third, even higher level, the invisible miracle. This is when the divine will is so perfectly fused with the natural world that the event seems, well, completely normal.
And this ancient Aramaic phrase just illustrates the very peak of that hierarchy perfectly. The highest form of miracle is defined by this idea. The recipient of the miracle does not recognize it. The whole event is so seamless, so utterly natural, that the person it's actually happening to has no idea that anything miraculous even occurred.
Okay, so that's a pretty huge cosmic idea, right? But what in the world does this have to do with us in our daily lives? Well, this is where the entire concept pivots from theology to something deeply psychological, using this really powerful metaphor, the Egypt within.
Yeah, this isn't just some dusty old philosophy. The source material uses these exact ideas to map our own internal landscape. This whole framework of miracles actually gives us a language to talk about our own consciousness and our own freedom.
And here is the key that unlocks this whole thing. In Hebrew, the word for Egypt, Mitzrayim, is directly related to the word for constraints or narrow places, Mitzarim. So Egypt isn't just a place on a map, it's a state of being. It represents all of our internal limitations, the anxieties, the fears, all the things that hold us captive.
So if Egypt is our own internal state of constraint, then who's the pharaoh? And what exactly is the slavery? Well, the text suggests the answer is a lot closer than we might think. The pharaoh, that relentless, demanding taskmaster, it's our own ego. It's that part of our mind that is just constantly demanding, constantly chasing, constantly whispering, I want, I need. It's the voice that convinces us our very existence is conditional. And this is the backbreaking labor of modern life. It's not about making bricks with straw. It's the endless mental toil of trying to satisfy the ego. It's that constant gnawing feeling that you have to prove yourself, that you have to be successful enough or smart enough or good enough just to have the right to exist. It's living in a survival mode that never, ever shuts off. If you have nothing, you're anxious to get something. And if you have something, you're terrified of losing it. It's a game you just can't win. So how do you escape this internal Egypt? The answer isn't about getting more or achieving more. It's about a fundamental shift in your perspective. It's about an inner exodus. The symbolism of Passover explains this so perfectly. You have chametz, leavened bread. It's all puffed up. It represents the inflated ego, the anxiety of feeling like this separate I that has to fight for its place in the world. But then you have matzah. It's flat. It's humble. It represents the freedom that comes from letting go of that puffed up ego, the deep peace of just having an unconditional existence. And this right here, this is the heart of the inner exodus. True freedom isn't finally getting everything the ego wants. No, it's becoming free from the wanting itself. It is that profound, quiet realization that you don't need to justify your existence. You simply are.
And this brings us full circle, right back to where we started with miracles. The ultimate freedom, the ultimate redemption, it's not about these spectacular external events coming to change our lives. It's about an internal shift that completely changes how we perceive our lives. This ancient verse holds the entire key. Just notice the specific wording here. I will show you wonders. It doesn't say I will do new wonders for you. The promise of the ultimate redemption isn't about bigger, better nature-breaking miracles. It's about gaining a new kind of vision, the ability to see the wonders that are already here.
And that is the ultimate takeaway. The real journey isn't about waiting for the sea to split. It's about developing the perception to see the wonders that are already all around us. The greatest miracle of all is gaining the ability to recognize that divine presence so perfectly woven into the fabric of our ordinary everyday lives that we don't even notice it. That is true freedom.
So that just leaves us with a final thought to reflect on. If the greatest miracles are the ones we don't even recognize, then what profound life-sustaining wonders are happening for you and through you right now? Hiding in plain sight?